In yet another episode on how to have a good investment portfolio or a retirement portfolio, let's have a look at this case scenario. Now, someone is saying, hello members, I am due for retirement next year, October. I have never done business. I saved 5 million in a certain Sacco that gives me, or which gives me 500,000 shillings annually or yearly. My lump sum pension is around 3 million. I am in need of financial advice. Thank you. Let's take that again. Hello members, I am due for retirement next year. I have never done business. So in other words, the person is acknowledging that they don't have any business experience. I have never done business. I saved up 5 million shillings in a Sacco that gives me 500,000 shillings. So that is 10% annually, yeah? My lump sum pension is about 3 million. In need of financial advice. Thank you. So from just that post, what risk do you see in having saved 5 million in a Sacco and without mentioning any other savings or any other investment? What risk do we see in this? Anyway, leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what risk that the person predisposed himself or herself to. I'm hoping I believe it's one of the strong Saccos or one of the solid Saccos like Mwalimu Sacco or Steamer Sacco or any other Sacco for that matter. And that is not an endorsement for any of those Saccos. Let's have a look at the comments or the advice offered so far. Someone is saying, I will remain with my 500,000 shillings yearly. At least I'm sure with it, with no stress of management. I will remain with my 500,000 shillings yearly. At least I'm sure with it, with no stress of management. In other words, this person is recommending that you take the 3 million lump sum pension and use it for whatever expenses you're going to use it for, either to pay your bills or to start up a business or to go for your further studies or to go for your holiday. Use it in whichever means you deem fit. But the 5 million in that Sacco, do not touch it. Why? Because it presumably guarantees you 500,000 shillings annually. What do you make of this advice? I'm going to drop a comment. Let's discuss these comments in the comment section. What do you make of that recommendation? I'll have it as a comment in the comment section. Please give me your opinions under it. Now, my opinion is retaining the 5 million in the Sacco is going to predispose this person to concentration risk. Concentration risk in the sense that you have all your eggs in the Sacco basket. All right. So if this Sacco was to pull a Cusco on us, or was to pull a Metropolitan Sacco on us, or an Ekeza Sacco on us, of course, I think not Ekeza Sacco, but a Cusco on us or a Metropolitan Sacco on us, where is that going to leave you in your retirement? So retaining the entire amount in the Sacco is going to expose you further to concentration risk. All right. And that will crystallize if, God forbid, that this Sacco has or faces financial problems. We have seen many Saccos face liquidity issues or financial problems or mismanagement problems. Now, that will also predispose you to inflation risk. Remember, we are advising you, or the comment is advising you to take the 500 from the Sacco and retain the 5 million. So essentially what that means is that 10 years from now, you will still be having 5 million in the Sacco, earning you just 500,000 shillings. Okay? And will the value of that 5 million 10 years from now be the same as it is now? Of course, it will have been eaten up with inflation, right? So that is another risk that I see with these comments. There's also a risk of default risk and a risk of horizon risk. Default risk we have discussed. Horizon risk is in the sense that you withdraw from the Sacco because you will certainly be in need of money, and at a certain age or at a certain time in the near future, maybe 5 or 4 years later, the 500,000 shillings yearly, coupled up with the 3 million, you might have already used the 3 million, or even if you haven't used it, but the 500,000 shillings you get from this Sacco might not be sufficient. So it is always okay to look for more, for as long as you preserve your capital. All right. Now, another comment, let's have a look at this. Relax, boss, and join a golf club. Travel until you meet yourself. Whereas at the face of it, it is good to join a golf club. It is good to be able to network with people. It is good to entertain yourself and be able to keep fit. But do you think 5 million is enough for someone who has no other source of income to join a golf club? Someone transitioning to retirement, meaning no other source of income, because this person is not even having any business. They have no business experience. Is it a wise idea to take all their investments, or even a portion of it, to join a golf club for the first time? Let me know in the comment section. In my opinion, this would form in one of the mistakes I had mentioned that people make when they go for retirement, that is enhancing or changing their lifestyle to increase their expenditure levels. All right. Remember, you don't have any other source of revenue. So how are you going to sustain this membership in the golf club with the other bills still falling due? I think that might be unsustainable, and it is going to predispose you to horizon risk. I hope you do remember what horizon risk is. If you do, please leave me a comment in the comment section so that those who are here for the first time can get to know what we mean by horizon risk. Another advice that was given to this person I find it quite interesting advice, is boost the 5 million to make it 8 million at your Sacco with the same percentage as you have provided. It means you will be receiving 800,000 shillings annually, assuming you don't have school fees, you already have a home, etc. You already have 5 million in the Sacco. You have a lump sum payment of 3 million. And the opinion of this audience is that take your lump sum payment that you're getting and add it onto the Sacco so that you have every money you could ever lay your hand on in the Sacco. Now, I'm not sure whether this person receives annuity, but it's clear that they don't have any other. Let me ask you, now, what happens when this person falls sick? When there's an emergency? What happens when this person needs to go for treatment? Or what happens when the person loses a loved one and needs money? What happens when the Sacco, God forbid, faces liquidity issues or mismanagement issues? Because a company can be running pretty much okay for years and years on end. Then suddenly there's a change of management, or their existing management, kumbe, turns out to have been mismanaging funds and cooking the financials or misrepresenting the financials. And this comes out later, like in the case of Cusco or in the case of Imperial Bank, which was put in receivership by CBK. What happens if you find yourself in an Imperial Bank scenario or in a Cusco scenario? You have taken up everything that you have and added on to the Sacco. Remember, Sacco savings, you don't have access to them unless you're exiting the Sacco. So how will you get this money? And what if you need more than the 800 shillings in a specific year? So I don't think that this really would be the best decision to make or the best way to go. Why? Because of concentration risk and lack of liquidity. Lack of liquidity in the sense that for you to get money from your Sacco, you have to wait to be paid the dividends on your shares, or to be paid the rebate or interest on your savings, which is done just once a year. And that is also not guaranteed. It depends on the performance on the Sacco, even though we have historical records, but it depends on the performance of that specific Sacco, right? The next comment I'd like us to review is this comment, which I find pretty much interesting, even though it doesn't give clear direction, but I find it pretty much interesting, and it's something I would love to build on the next video. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. In other words, diversify. So this is speaking against the other person, or giving the opposite advice to the previous person who said, take the 3 million, lump it up with the Sacco, so you have all your eggs in one basket, and because apparently you're going to be guaranteed of getting 800,000 shillings. Remember, interest paid from Saccos are not guaranteed. The guaranteed investments are, the guaranteed return of investment or the fixed income investments assured is government securities and certain insurance policies. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, correct? Try finding something income generating, correct? And labor extensive to keep you busy in retirement. I think this is the best comment that I came across in this post. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Try finding something income generating. Good. That means you can diversify and have passive income and labor extensive to keep you busy in retirement. Active income. The active income is quite necessary in the sense that something labor extensive is going to keep you busy, of course, for your physical fitness, for your mental fitness. You don't want to be sitting down morning to evening, Monday to Friday, or Monday to Sunday, Sunday to Sunday, even though you know that at the end of the day, you're going to be earning your passive income from whichever source that is, especially during your earlier years of retirement, when you still have some energy to move around, right? You need to continue being active, to keep yourself active, be busy. Engage your mind, engage your body, your muscles, all right? So that at least you are able to be active for a longer time and you're able to be healthier, lead a healthier life. You are able to keep yourself in motion. I think this is by so far the best experience, the best advice that I saw under this comment. And so in the next video, we are going to be building up on these comments. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, something that I love. Try finding something income generating and labor extensive to keep you busy in your retirement. I think this is a very, very good and solid advice that we need to be reviewing, and this serves a video on its own. So please stay around. In the next video, we are going to be analyzing these comments and seeing its practicality. We are going to have a portfolio. We are going to formulate a portfolio on how this retiree can avoid having all her eggs or his eggs in one basket and generate income from this amount that the retiree is gaining, the 8 million shillings, which I think is some good amount that to work with or to retire with. All right. Next video is going to be more practical, so you want to stick around and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, or click the notification bell so that when it is up, YouTube will notify you. Otherwise, thank you so much for being around. My name is Belin, and let's meet on the next video.